So I'll just start the session with a small video. Okay, just about 30 seconds to set the pulse. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me
Are you able to hear?
and you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You can hear the
And I
video?
think to myself,
Yes, sir. We can hear.
Okay, at any point of time, if you're not able to hear me, please stop me.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright, blessed days, dark, sacred nights. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colours of a rainbow, so beautiful, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. We can hear you.
Thanks a lot. So, it's a wonderful world, but how long will this be wonderful? So, we are all gathered here to celebrate the occasion of World Environment Day. But the question is, why do we actually need a World Environment Day? Wherein, every day can be a World Environment Day. Thanking you once again for giving me this opportunity. I would like to, initiate the presentation. Usually, whenever I speak, people say that, I cannot follow you. Yes, people cannot follow me because, I speak Spanish, Greek, French, Latin. The reason is because environment does not have origin from Great Britain. The word environment itself is a French word, which means surrounding. So with this brief information, let us start. So what is the actual objective of today's presentation? There is a huge gap with what we know, what we do not know, and what we thought that we actually know. So my idea or my ideology is to bridge this gap. If we are all able to bridge this gap, then yes, definitely it will be a wonderful world. Now, why are we sitting here? Wherein we already have stakeholders, we have Ministry of Environment and Forest, we have Pollution Control Board, we have non-government organizations, non-profit organizations. All of these bodies actually have an objective to protect the environment. Unfortunately, everyone looks at it in the wrong way. The Ulta telescope. Okay, that's the main issue with the aspect. Now, even if you look at the concept of corporate societal environmental responsibility, even if you look at that, the objective is not being served because it's just for the matter of tax savings or so forth. If a company has an objective to protect environment, it should come from the heart, not to just show people that they are doing something for the environment. So when we are in such a circumstance wherein the people who should be protecting the environment, when they are failing it, then it comes to us. All of you have seen the movie Spider-Man, wherein there is a very famous dialogue, with great powers comes great responsibility. It doesn't say with great authority comes great responsibility. Authority is something which is vested in you. Power is something which you have inherently. We all have powers. And when we have powers, when we have love for nature, there is something called as responsibility which follows us. And that is probably what I'm trying to trigger. The biggest issue with us is we tend to excuse me, the biggest issue is we tend to look at everything from a human centric approach. Okay, now we feel that, we are at the center of this planet and all the organisms are dependent on us. All the organisms require us, but that's not the reality. If you look at the screen, definitely there are a lot of organisms which are critically endangered, nearly threatened. Yes, there is also one more organism which is least concerned, and that is the Homo sapiens. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to change this. We need to change from a human centric approach to a nature centric approach. That is, we are one among everyone. Let me just show you a very simple video to make you understand what exactly I meant. How we are different from other organisms. Is the video visible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, no, that is something called as teamwork, wherein, a group of ants are working together to bridge a task. They don't have any ego among them, but we human beings are built with that. The moment we can let go of that, this world will be a better place. Okay, now we always have an issue. We always look at things from our point of view. We don't even consider anything else. I'm aware that, with the cyclone hitting the western coast, damages which have happened. But when people lose houses, do people even think about when they cut down the trees, when they destroy the forest? Even the forest was a home for biodiversity. Even the forest was home for very number of species. We don't see that. Why? Because we don't want to see that. We have a different outlook for everything. And this outlook is basically, built in our system with caste, with religion, with politics. Now, there are two things which is destroying environment: ignorance, arrogance. And today I am trying to see if I can eliminate ignorance and arrogance from all of us. For instance, now we are in the era of pandemic. We have corona everywhere. If a person is walking on the streets without a mask, he is not aware that he's supposed to wear a mask. He is ignorant. But if he knows it and he still and he still walks without a mask, then he's arrogant. So basically, it is ignorance and arrogance which is destroying this environment. Please remember, environment is all around us, but we are not observing. If you look at this image on your screen, if this image is posted in Facebook, it will have more than 5,000 to 10,000 likes. Yes, and the comment will be awesome picture. But the reality is, it is not an awesome picture. It's an awesome place. We are ignoring the environment and we are digitally moving. We are getting disconnected from environment. Now, many of us look at things in a different manner. Now, if I actually pose this question to the audience, what all do you see? There will be a lot of responses. I can see tree, I can see glacier, I can see water, I can see snow. But some people would actually try to say that I see that the ice is melting. Okay, we are looking at Switzerland wherein it actually never rains. So how we look at things also matters. We need to look at things constructively. And whenever you talk about environment, we are always talking about things outside our country. Let's say the Grand Canyon need not be. There is awesome environment which is surrounding each one of us. We also have a great canyon in India itself. But what is happening? Why are we not getting this information? That is because we are totally disconnected. We are becoming ignorant of what is happening. Let me also give you a very simple example, which is among all of us. We all search for a tree to park the vehicle. But how many of us actually understand that those trees are also important when it's in a forest? So trees are required for everybody, but we only think it's only needed for us. We need the trees to park it, but we cut down the trees. People who come to cut down the tree take shade in the same tree before cutting it down. That is how humans have become, and that is the ignorance and arrogance that we need to eliminate. We really don't understand that when we are cutting a tree, just by replacing it with 1,000 saplings will not help. Afforestation is not planting saplings. Okay, if you look at this image, you can easily understand the number of years, the tree has taken to become a real tree. By just planting 1,000 saplings, you just cannot say that, I have taken care of the deforestation. Those saplings require another 100 years to do its real stuff. Okay, now I'll just give you a glimpse of Kudremukh in the Western Ghats, awesome forest belt which has been destroyed by mining. Please have a look at the transformation of the natural landscape. Literally, after mining was stopped, it took at least 10 to 15 years for Kudremukh to become normal. What is actually happening? As we are progressing, okay, we are destroying the environment. Probably some of us can relate to this incident. In earlier years, okay, probably decades earlier, whenever you drove a car, okay, you had so many insects which is striking on your windshield. But today, not even one insect on your windshield. Have you ever thought about this? What could be the reason? We are spraying so much of chemicals, pesticides, insecticides into the environment. How will these insects survive? Okay, now we talk about constructing dams, but the priority is water important or is a tiger important? We don't even understand that if you remove the tigers, okay, literally there will be no water to drink. Now, all of us are pretty much aware of the threat with respect to locust. And, whenever you talk about it, yes, it's a very potential threat. The crops can be destroyed. But then we don't even think, why is that locusts are a threat? Why is that 30, 40 years back, 50 years back, 60 years back, when the locust was coming into India, they were never a threat. They were never a threat because we had natural predators. Okay, now all those predators are gone. We have a scarecrow which doesn't scare anyone. We need to understand that if you have a pest, the best pest control is the natural pest control, which is your birds, which is your snakes. Okay, by removing them from your food chain, you're crippling the entire earth. Okay, now another ignorant aspect is, when a survey was conducted in Bangalore, okay, where do you get water from? A very simple concept. Where do you get water from? The answers are very awkward. We get water from a sump. Okay, we get water from the tank. But that's really funny, Let us move on to the need for environmental stewardship. So till now, by these slides, you understood that there is a lot of ignorance among us. There is a lot of arrogance among us, and we need to eradicate that. But how do you do it? You need to do it at the grassroots level. That is the children, the kids. And that is why, your eco clubs like yours, eco clubs like mine, okay, they were directed to be started by the National Environmental Awareness Campaign in 1986. All the eco clubs which are formed in schools, colleges, they come under the National Green Corps. And we must thank this gentleman, this advocate, Mr. M.C. Mehta, who has fought a lot of cases for the environment. Okay, now let us move on to the next part. Why do I need an eco club? When subjects like environmental studies is being taught to everyone. Okay, I myself have authored 1 to 2 textbooks. But then why do we need an eco club? What is the efficacy of that? Trust me, you will be shocked when I tell you that when we take classes, when I was a student, when you were a student, I'm sure everything never went inside our head. Okay, so probably everything you learn within the 4 walls is not effective. Okay, you need to have experiential learning. When we teach in the class, when I speak and all of you listen, it is not efficient. If I, let us say I show you, I teach you about food chain. I tell you consumers, decomposers, producers, it will not be effective. But if I take you inside a forest and then a tiger jumps, okay, that's a producer. Sorry, that's a predator. Okay, so environmental studies is not a subject to be learned in 4 walls. It has to be learned beyond the 4 walls. And let me tell you, gone are the days where you talk about learning. Now it's about unlearning and relearning. There is so much that I and you do not know. Okay, we even don't know that there is a temple in India in which Duryodhan, that is one among the Kauravas, is the god. How many of us know that? Not many of us. Okay, what do? We are still sitting and studying the old syllabus. Global warming, ozone depletion, population explosion, acid rain. Our syllabus has never been updated. As long as I and you sit and study the same syllabus, it's of no use. Okay, and finally, I am sure most of my teachers would agree with this. If you say that, I will teach you so that you get the maximum number of marks, then the entire audience will go towards that. All the kids, all the children will go towards that. The system itself has collapsed. We are not understanding the subject. We are mugging and by-hearting the subject. Finally, the story is same. I and you, we teach the same thing. The percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 0.03. Sorry, it is not 0.03 anymore. It has gone above that, but we are not doing it. Okay, we talk about mouse, we talk about Linux. Okay, we have forgotten that all these have been connected with nature. Now, somebody speaks about Apple, you talk about your mobile. But we have forgotten that apple was also a fruit, the same fruit which fell on Isaac Newton's head. Okay, now awesome stadium. Okay, this is Beijing, China. Okay, but how many of us know that the stadium exactly has the same appearance like the nest of a crow? But why did they build it like that? Okay, if you don't even know that it's a crow's nest, it's a first step of failure for us. But if you know that it's a crow's nest, then you are successful. That means you're actually learning something. Just look at the screen. You look at the aircraft. Now, if I tell you that it is this bird which is the inspiration for this aircraft, my dear friends, I am talking about the most important concept which your eco club can do: biomimicry or biomimetics. Okay, yes, we all copy. I'm sure most of my students will agree that we copied during exams, we copy during tests, but we copy very badly, because when we copy, have you ever asked, boss, is that answer right or wrong? No, we just copy. Okay, that is what has happened. You look at solar cells, the efficiency of the solar cells is very poor. Why? Because we are very bad copiers. Okay, olden days when we had wired telephones, when they used to fall, they used to get entangled. But when you look at the original concept of creepers, they don't get entangled. We are good at copying. We don't understand how we copy. This is something which is very close to my heart. This was a movie which had come very recently. That was Tanhaji. Okay, Tanhaji also spoke about a concept, connection with the nature. That is the monitor lizard. Of course, in that movie, they had not shown it. Okay, but most of us may have also seen Mission Impossible, wherein, the great creation of civil engineers, Burj Khalifa. Even that, they were talking about climbing on a wall. Okay, but while Tanhaji succeeded, Tom Cruise failed. Why? It is not enough that you sit in a class. It is important that you sit and understand what is happening. Listening to a topic is not going to serve anyone any purpose. So now that you've understood that what you're learning is outdated, how you're learning is absurd, okay, then it becomes important that you join an eco club and undertake the activities of an eco club. What does the eco club require? It requires a leader. Okay, like Rakesh ji said, it requires a leader. It requires members. All of them should have the same thoughts. There are so many activities that you people can do. Okay, I'm just sharing some snapshots of those. Okay. I saw the video which was played by Madam with respect to your Shashwat Club. So I believe that you're also speaking about cleanup. Yes, your eco club can actually do plastic cleanup drive. You can do e-waste collection drive. But it is very important to understand, it is not just cleaning up the plastic which is dirtied by the public, but educating them that do not use plastics, single-use plastics. is not enough that we just do e-waste collection drive, but we should understand why is e-waste bad for us. How can we reduce the consumption of e-waste? How can we reduce the consumption of plastic? So, my dear friends, what a Eco Club, what Shashwat can do excellently is, you're already doing great, but what you can do excellently is, apart from these activities, you can actually teach these young minds, you can make them leaders wherein they take the leadership. Okay, wherein they understand next time there should not be a drive. You know why? Which means there is no plastic being dumped. There should not be any e-waste, which means we are controlling the use of electronic gadgets. Okay, now please understand the greatness of your club is not doing activities. Yes, I definitely heard when you spoke that you've been doing activities for villages and so forth. That's absolutely great. Trust me, that is really great. Even academically, if you talk from NAC point of view, the greatness of your club is not just cleaning your premises. The greatness of your club is when you clean the surrounding villages. Now, let us say civil engineers. Okay, and civil engineers in Karnataka, under VTU, we have something called a survey camp, wherein we go to some other part of the district, some other part of the city, and we clean. We conduct the survey. So, what I made my students do is we made them clean up the place. So other colleges who also used to come to the same place, when they saw us cleaning the place, they were motivated to understand that we should not go and dirty somebody else's place. Okay, this is what a Eco Club can do. And if you do that, it's really great. No, as I always said, if you can touch the grassroots, go to schools, go to children, go to kids, tell them the importance of environment. Trust me, they will grasp it better than we are. And tomorrow, those people will be role models for all of us. Now, apart from in-house activities, you can also do off-campus activities. You can be volunteers for great initiatives which is happening in the country. Let's say Rally for Rivers. You can join hands with NSS. You can join hands with NCC. Okay, you can get great thinking people together to enhance the scope of your activities. Okay, now you can also go out of the college. You can go for treks, you can go for forest. But remember, when you go to a forest, we need to behave. We need to behave like animals. You know why? Animals do not dirty the place. Animals do not throw trash in the place. When we go to a forest, we should understand one principle. We have come to their territory. We should not have expectation that we will see tiger and lion. Okay, rather have expectation that let us walk in this nature without causing pollution. Let us breathe this good air. Let us start observing things. Okay, so nature photography is also one more activity which your Eco Club can undertake. Now, with respect to my Eco Club, we are also part of censuses. We have carried out census in Arunachal, in states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and so forth. So, some of your students or your faculty can actually take up census or survey related to biodiversity. That is your service to society. Okay, now we're always talking about learning. Who has stopped us from learning things beyond curriculum? Okay, beyond the syllabus prescribed by UGC, you can look at things which is happening in reality. United Nations is offering so many courses on climate change. American Museum of Natural History is basically floating a course on ecology. Let me tell you, okay, not everyone will pass in that course. The idea is, so much is there that we don't know. So, my dear friends, from your Eco Club, you can take the initiative of floating MOOCs. I'm very proud to say that every student of mine have taken up MOOC, and I'm sure, it's also happening with your college as well. Okay. Now, keep learning, but keep changing the pedagogy. You can learn by making cartoons. Incidentally, today, that is World Environment Day, the competition that we have raised is Corona and Environment. So all the student members of Eco Club, they have created cartoons, okay, and they are submitting it today to us. Okay, now you can have competitions. Students will be interested to take part in competitions, and by competing, they will learn more. Okay, send your students off campus when there are great speakers coming. Okay, Now send them to those organizations, let them witness the experts in their own area, in their own campuses. Get experts to your college. Okay, get speakers. Now, how many of us would believe when I say that, an officer in the Indian Army came to our eco club? Yes, Indian Army also handles environment. They also have something called as territorial army, which takes care of, Ganga cleanup. So it's only about exploring things. We need to explore, and in every aspect, there is an environment. Okay, now we are all engineers, we are all scientists. Then what is that the Eco Club students can do? What is that the Eco Club teachers can do? They can look at problems of the society and they can work towards a solution. They can join hands with other departments. They can start creating proposals. Trust me, a project is not worth unless it can solve a problem. So we should move from the concept of project-based learning to problem-based learning, wherein every project of yours is a solution to the society. And trust me, the solution is in the nature. Biomimicry, only thing is we need to observe it. Conduct workshops. We have conducted workshops in the night. There are so many organisms, nocturnal species, which you don't see in the daytime. Sensitize the children, sensitize the educational fraternity. Do workshops in the night time. Now everyone talks about technology. Everyone talks about GIS. Conduct workshops on quantum GIS, which is an open source free software. I am sure, most of the things Shashwat is doing. I am just sharing whatever I am aware of. Probably, our Eco Club is the only Eco Club which has a MOU with the university, wherein, we benefit from each other. National Law School India University. Take steps wherein you can join hands with great organizations that will increase the scope of your activity. Now, all of us like to watch movies, right? Then also you can teach them by showing them movies. Show them nice documentaries. Trust me, they will learn better. They will understand better. All this can be a scope of your Eco Club. Okay, now let us not stop here. Let your students write articles. Let them come in the newspapers. Okay, let the great things that your students have done, your teachers have done, let them come in the media. That will be a great publicity. And when I say publicity, I am saying that we are eradicating ignorance and arrogance. Okay, my dear friends, my dear students, and my dear colleagues, if I say that the turtle, what you see on the top right-hand corner, and the butterfly you see on the right bottom corner, they have the same name, tortoise shell. How many of us know that? Okay, if in my class, what exercise I do usually is I ask everyone that name one organism in the forest. Trust me, people run out of options. I'm sure most of us are like that. We don't know. We have forgotten the animals which are there in the forest. Okay, in my Eco Club, what my students did is they literally went and created a database of all the organisms which is seen in the campus. And I'm so proud to share that my students, they released a handbook, a field guide on the flora and fauna of the campus. Okay, and I'm so happy to share that these students, they went to a conference in Mizoram, and their efforts of how they created a handbook was published as a chapter. Now tell me, which student can do that? Only in an Eco Club, a student has chances to do that, right? So yes, Eco Club is an option, is not an option. It is something that you need to get involved in. When you're in an Eco Club, you will learn, you will unlearn, and you will relearn. And there is no restriction of examinations wherein you by heart and you mug and you vomit. No. Okay. So what you are doing today is also an awesome effort. Okay. Today, incidentally, after this presentation, I have a presentation from some students to my students. So these webinars, which is happening on Environmental Day, is also an excellent activity from your end. And my hats off to you. Okay, what should your eco club have? It must have an advisory panel. You must have people from research background, from law background, from forest background, from NGOs, NPOs. You must have academicians. You must have scientists. These are the people who can advise you. For instance, I'm an advisor for eco clubs in Arunachal and Karnataka. You need to get more and more people who can advise you in these areas. Now, this is something which I spoke before. Have collaborations. Like, we have collaborations with Indian Institute of Science, Wildlife SOS, and so forth. What you also can do is, you can also take up some responsibility with respect to your CSR. Okay, it is not sufficient that we do good things. Try to bring all this under the umbrella of corporate social responsibility. It will take you miles forward. My dear friends, I and you, we are gathered here only because if we don't stop what we are doing, if we do not, eliminate the arrogance and ignorance, a day is not far when this is what is going to appear. We all played games in Facebook 10 years later, how it would be 10 years before. But the rate at which we are moving, this is what is going to happen. Okay, let me just show you the Mayan civilization. We are all, thinking, how did Maya disappear? Was it dinosaurs? Was it a meteor? No, the reality why the Mayan civilization disappeared is very simple. I'll just show you a small slideshow. Just please observe very carefully. My dear friends, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. If we can understand this, we can stop disaster. Please observe carefully. Mayan civilization, which is very famous for temples. Those temples are what you see on the screen, and you can see so much of greenery around it. And now see what happened. Mayan civilization disappeared not because of dinosaurs or aliens. It disappeared only because of deforestation. They destroyed the entire forest to build more and more temples. अरे भगवान तो प्रकृति में है. Your nature itself is your God, and you don't have to please God by creating more temples. When they destroyed the forest, they destroyed their hydrological cycle, that is the water cycle. Unfortunately, as an outcome of this, the entire civilization was wiped out. Now let's look at the screen. 2019, look at the pollution level. 2020, because of one virus, look at the pollution level. All of us will be surprised if I tell you, if we destroy all the ants, in Hindi we say chinti, if we destroy all the ants, trust me, the entire earth will be destroyed. But if we remove all the human beings from this earth will be a beautiful place, but we will not be there to see that. But let me tell you, my dear friends, this is not something new that I and you are talking about. This is something that we have forgotten in our history, in our culture, in our religion. Whatever religion I and you belong to, environment was integral to it. My dear friends, we don't need to do great things to become environmental stewards. We can do small, simple things and yet be an environmental steward. The day-to-day activities, what you do, can make you an environmental steward. Switching off the fan when you're not using the room. Okay, try not dumping the garbage on the roads. Okay, feeding a bird in the summer, keeping a tray of water in the summer, feeding the stray dogs. All that, if you do, you will become an environmental steward. If I give this presentation in a technical manner, the first thing I would say is there are three types of stewards. जो करते हैं, जो करवाते हैं, और जो मदद करते हैं. Doers, donors, and facilitators. We can be any one among them. All you need to love nature. Trust me, if you love nature, you can survive. But I'm again telling you, in this presentation, my objective is if there is a spark, even in 1% of the audience, that one person can take this message forward, because we human beings have an attitude. We are highly motivated on Sunday night and we lose the motivation after we wake up. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to find motivation. Sometimes, thanks to the efforts of eco clubs like Shashwat, motivation will find you. But down the line, you have to be motivated if you want to do it. Okay. Now, please remember what I started first. We don't have to call a special day as a World Environment Day. Consider your every day as World Environment Day. Every day of your day, if it is World Environment Day, your day will be awesome. There are 4 videos which I will share with Pramod sir, which gives you glimpses of environmental stewards. My dear friends, I'm done with the presentation. I thank you one and all. Pranam, Shukriya, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.